First video on this subject. Now, I am delighted to answer a few questions, as I'm not really used to talking to in front of a camera. So, this is intended for people like me, athletes, and those who want to know more about brain damage and CTE, which is a very new disease, 20 years in discovering, and yeah, I'm gonna put my insight on it as a young athlete, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So let's see what I have to say. Who am I? See, I would make this a long story, but I think, maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. We'll see. First off, what sport did I do? I still play soccer, but I just don't really go for headers. And how's that been working? It's been working fine. I feel like you can play soccer without really going for for the headers. I mean, as long as you're not going like elite, then maybe, or like professional, or even half that level. But honestly, because the main intent isn't going for the head, it's just maybe going for a slide tackle. Maybe it's going for a long shot. But honestly, yeah, I feel like it's not that hard to take away the head in aspects. I use my shoulders sometimes. I try to. It may look weird when someone who doesn't know what I'm going through sees this, so it's all good. I let my feet do the talking. Um, so yeah, I was a wrestler. Okay, but what type of wrestler? I was a Brentwood varsity for a week or so. So 2021, I was JV, 2022, JV, 2023, I was supposed to be varsity. But let me just tell you the story. 2021, I have received a pseudo-aneurysm around August. It was for an off-season tournament. It was from a simple drill that I did with my partner. So basically, we were both in the same weight class, so we trained, and it wasn't anything crazy. We weren't going live. So basically, you have to do the high double. Okay, high double. And the thing about me is I'm a little scared because I seen how some people land, and honestly, I put my head up because you're supposed to put the head on the chest and then grab the legs and just drive. Well, the problem with that is when I did that, I fell. Obviously, we both fell, but like when my head slipped off his chest and it went straight through the hip bone. My temple went straight to the hip bone, like on the ground, face first, and that resulted in a nasty bump, but it didn't really result into concussion symptoms. So I was like, okay. I thought this was like a fat lump. No, it was just a pseudoaneurysm. The blood vessel around here had gotten swollen. And they had to coil it. Yes, they had to coil it in December. So I was out for 2 weeks. Then I had COVID. So I had a total of 10 matches. Uh, I wasn't the only one who experienced COVID, especially in my weight class. So the spots were up for grabs next year in 2023 for varsity because now the weight classes are open. The seniors have graduated. They placed top four in New York State. Brownwood was that good that year in 2022. 2021, I really talk about like that season because let me say this, it was a COVID season, lasted like three or 4 weeks. So it was just mainly training. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna see what I have written on CT, what my experience was actually like. So it was around July of 2022 where I feel like things have changed. It was mid-July. So I would have to take a look at my notes, for they were many hits. But It was me hitting my head on the back of the car seat. Maybe because I threw a tantrum. Yes, because I was experiencing OCD and very much anxiety around June of 2022. Besides only having one really bad brain injury, it's not gonna give anyone CTE. Eventually, I healed up and I was fine. Maybe I wrestled a bit scared, like I would dive into shots, like I wouldn't set them up. And that was evident during my tournament that on June 6th, around June 6th, yeah, and that would be my last tournament like we would ever see from me ever. Around June of 2022. So July 2022, what happened that for me, yeah, we took some hits here. I'm like, oh no, what if I become like Patrick Colon? Because I was really thinking about that boxer that took many hits and now he's in a vegetative state. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Fudge. Then I didn't really. I felt symptoms for a few hours. Then, like a few days later, I wrestled Derek, and he was like 126. It was like on a Sunday. Like it wasn't a few days later. I think it was that day. And I took a knee to the temple. I'm like, I felt very irritable. I don't know if it's because I kept losing or I just wasn't feeling myself, but I felt angry. Okay, fair enough. Then I went to the trampoline the next day because it was a summer. Obviously, I'm like a 15-year-old, so I went to my church friend's house and yeah, we were on the trampoline and we were playing like a little game of soccer and I why is my temple always like getting hit in the knee? I was going to block a shot and then yeah, my knee went into I mean his knee went into my temple. My temple hit his knee. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it was not good. Nope. What else happened? Then that's yeah, this is a lot. Then a few days later, we're all in mid-July, by the way. My head hit the wall of the pool, got flipped over a bunch of times, and especially in the lake. And I thought I had a brain-eating amoeba. It wasn't. It wasn't until like a week or two later, like, wait, my friend Brian told me. He's my close friend who was a senior. He was like, well, he graduated like a month earlier, but still. He told me like, "Yo, maybe you might have a concussion and not that brain in me." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't think of that." So I went to the doctor, and Joshua got his first concussion. We set up Donny Park a long time before this, and I told my doctor that I was gonna go to Donny Park. And my only biggest regret I have from that is I went on the roller coaster twice. Oh, Lord. I know what you're probably thinking if you're watching this. Why the fuck would you go on a roller coaster? No, I get it. I felt that dream. Like even I felt that dream. I felt that in my dream. Like it haunts me. Okay, I get it. Like it, it's a it's a PTSD of my stupid decisions. And honestly, it just it didn't go well. I just slept bad that night, and I was surrounded with people that didn't really believe in my injury. That's why I call it the silent killer. Okay, 3 weeks in afterwards, I went to a summer camp, and I was one of the oldest people, but I still was like a few, maybe 1 or 2 weeks away from recovering from the injury. Hopefully, if I don't get hit. So I went to this water park. And it's just a water park. You're not gonna get hurt. They had these metal rings. So I was just running around and boom, my head hit the hit the pole and I went on the ground for 5 minutes. Okay, that's a drag. Maybe 2 minutes, but I'm just thinking like, how the fuck am I not dead? Lord, how like I thought I was gonna go like I legit thought like maybe not now, but in like 5 minutes I'm gonna pass away. That didn't happen. That literally hit the top of my Listen, that was the hit that I would like change for the rest of my life. If there is one time I would change, even maybe it's probably July 4th, like maybe push myself. That was around July 20th, so maybe prevent the first few hits. But this is the one that would really prevent. I would have pushed myself out the way, make myself fall on the ground without this top part of my cranium hitting the pole. And damn, I'm still pissed about that. Because that's some part where I experience the most headaches, where I just constantly wanna, just want something like a touch of God on my head. Because God, that thing hurt. That was the concussion that hit. That was like a second impact syndrome right there. That was the hit that sent me out. It wasn't even the wrestling. Mm, like, as long as I didn't make a stupid mistake like I did like in 2021, I think I'd be fine. But that one was, nah, yeah, you might not be the same wrestler ever again. And I was planning to be varsity the next year. So basically, this is how it works. Ninth grade, 10th grade, uh, you you can be aggressive, but don't be too aggressive because you're gonna save that aggressiveness for 11th grade and 12th grade when the spots open up. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So, well, this is what I was thinking in my head. So, varsity 11th grade is where I was gonna go crazy. Because obviously, who's gonna be JV in 11th grade? That's kind of embarrassing. Like, I get we're a good school in wrestling. I told you, they place top four in states. And this is New York State. They're very competitive. And we're a Hispanic school, so this is even better. We're putting us on the map. Like, yay! And as a Salvadorian, as you see, I'm happy to even be wrestling for this because it gave me an identity. Because at first I sucked. I said in eighth grade I lost 5 matches and I only won once. So it was during COVID where I just looked at these matches I lost and I went demon time. And this is where I became closer to God. But then I became more narcissistic because of it, because of social media. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just focus on wrestling now. But anyways, back to the hit. Yeah, that turned my summer upside down. And honestly, it didn't just turn that summer upside down. Actually, it wasn't that bad because I was gonna graduate early in 2023, and I actually did. So, fall 2022, I was actually very optimistic, and I liked the girl. And and October is the month of my birthday, so yeah, I'm gonna write a book on that. I'm in like 70 pages. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I should. But anyways, uh, things were looking different this season because like I knew I took these hits, but eventually I recovered from playing more soccer, like just doing exercises. Like then I just realized maybe the headaches went away. The concussion symptoms went away. The moment I started kicking a ball, not too hard, I went from going light to hard in like a few more weeks. And honestly, I like this girl, so I was also very obsessive too. So maybe that got my mind off the concussion. Though I kind of banged my head on the pole again when I was trying to hide somewhere. So basically, I was like trying to climb up like a very like high pole, and then my head kind of hit it. I'm like, oh damn! And if I fell, yeah, that would have been dangerous. But luckily, I didn't fall. It just seems like I'm just very clumsy. Well, obviously, I'm telling you the story, and that's what it looks like. So this is my biggest regret. I was preparing a lot for the season. I made friends with a guy called Maynard. He was 180, and I wanted to win everything because I said I might graduate early. I'm gonna tell you why in a different case, but yeah, because I want to become good. I want to. Maybe this will push me to be a better wrestler, and maybe I can stay for another year if I don't get hurt. So October was fun. It was like an off season. Like we can just relax. I literally wore my Spider-Man suit to school and trained like that, and it was fun. Honestly, I was learning bachata. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, he was November. Now I got like I got the varsity spot around November 29th. It was for a tournament, okay? And that would be the tournament where I said I'm gonna prove myself. It was around November 27th. Like the day after Thanksgiving, they were like, "Yo, by the way, like, yo, you're gonna wrestle the varsity in like the Sayville tournament." And I was watching it from last year. Um, I won the JV tournament version, but I wanted to win the varsity because that was beautiful. That made me fall in love with the sport. So I'm like, man, it's finally my time. Okay, and I just like I was loving the moment. Yes, I like this girl. I like, yeah, I wanted to invite a girl over like to the game, and I just wanted to show my friends. Like I just, and also I like the sport. I was watching UFC. Like I was falling in love with grappling. Like the things you can do with grappling, and especially in MMA. I'm like, this will not only teach me how to be a good athlete, but a good fighter too. I'm like, yeah, this is good for me. And also, I was enjoying soccer. It was the time of the World Cup where we had the World Cup um, in our schools. I'm like, bro, I can watch the World Cup and do wrestling. Oh my Lord, my my coach literally put the World Cup and my and one of our training, like the whole TV when the U.S. played, because we're like a Hispanic place, so of course we like it. We have some Dominicans too. We have a lot of Dominicans as well. Not gonna lie. So we have Salvadorians too. And yeah, so I know you didn't come to hear about that. You came to hear about the brain injury. Yeah, I took a knee to the forehead. Train with heavier guys, so like I can build a strength. I told them like to watch the head. It was working well for 3 months. I didn't really because I was experiencing headaches here, but they weren't like as bad as they are now, where they pinch right here. And I took some bad hits, and I was like, oh, maybe they're just subconcussive because they weren't bad enough to cause concussions. But then they softened my brain up for what was about to happen. Two hits. One, I was gonna go for a takedown, and so was my friend, and he was a lighter weight class, and he was varsity for that. He was 126 varsity. I was gonna be second guy, 132. The first guy he was third in state, so I can't compete with that. Not yet. I had to know my limits, and we crashed heads, and oh, the same part that got hit on the pole. Oh, I didn't experience symptoms the next day, thank God, until a few days later. A knee went up to my forehead. It wasn't a crazy knee, it was like this type of knee. And then my forehead went into it. Yes. I call that the ghost of Joshua. That was in November 29th when I was cutting weight to make it on the tournament of December 3rd. I mean, yeah, December 3rd. It was on a Wednesday, and yeah, I was supposed to wrestle that Saturday. My first varsity tournament to prove myself. And I made so many letters. I ran like miles, and I was cutting weight like 5 pounds. The thing was, I was like 10% body fat. I was really lean, so I'm asking even more from my body and my brain. I lack protection, and that soft knee, took me out. Not like blacked out, but I felt like a ringing in my ear the moment that happened. We kept wrestling. I got flipped over a little bit. Because it was just it was like a live, but it wasn't like serious, like a real match. It was training. And then I had to break it to my friend that I really made memories with. His name was Maynard, by the way, he was 180, and yeah, the man that I try to push, because he was younger, like a year, but like, well, I'm talking about in grade, but yeah, that hurt because it was from him too, and honestly, I liked him because he actually tried to take care of my head, but listen, I was gonna get hurt eventually, but I didn't think it was gonna go out like that. I said that maybe CTE in 10 years, because I knew about the disease after July 22, obviously. So after that, four, three, I tried to play soccer during my concussion recovery, and I may have tripped a lot, like fell. Damn. Took 4 months. No, I still experience symptoms to this day, but I got cleared in 4 months. So I not only missed my wrestling season, but I lost myself in that regard. But I'm also regaining myself. I'm not gonna be the negative guy that says, "Oh, life is horrible" and all this. No, I like life. That's why I want to live to beat this brain trauma thing. Honestly, listen, I'm at least happy that I can say I was varsity for something, and I still have the skills to teach people. And if you want to know how to wrestle, I can show you. Like, I can show you how to fight. I'm still fit. I still play soccer. Like, I do shadow boxing, so yeah, I just like to watch UFCs to this day. But I get headaches just watching them too. So I I have made letters to myself during that because I used to journal and I used to meditate. And why did I stop meditating was because I'm gonna get into the second part. What are my symptoms? My symptoms are I feel the constant pinching, tingling that makes me want to be impulsive. Oh, it doesn't go away sometimes. Maybe when I go to bed. Thank God, at least it has a break. Thank the Lord. But honestly, how do I say this? It makes me it makes me moody, it makes me irritable, it makes me and it's right here too where I got hit. It's just like I feel the hit, two hits at one that make me wanna that make me wanna break down, that makes me wanna that makes me I don't know, it just catches my words. It catches my like to still be coherent, it just makes my thoughts a mess. And especially when there's many thoughts, it keeps them racing. And honestly, it's hard to even meditate. I can't clench the muscles in my brain. When can I relax? So it causes kind of like a constant fight or flight mode in my head. And this is like the first symptoms that I really like noticed and like since July, because I kind of hit my head when I was trying to like when I was in an airplane. I kind of I trying to duck under, get on the plane seat, and yeah, that didn't go well. And fudge, that hurt. That hurt because it was right in the exact same spot where I took those two horrible hits before. So it was right here in the same side of my brain. And honestly, my symptoms, I get my temples clenching, and then I will get fogginess. And the back of my head would start pinching too. It's like similar to spinal headaches, but this part just doesn't relax. It doesn't shut up sometimes. So I cannot relax sometimes. I feel relaxed when I say this, but I don't know why. I just hope it doesn't get worse from here and it only gets better. So that's one or few ways I experience my symptoms. Another way I experience my symptoms, let's see about this. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's just been mainly bad headaches right here, here, and here. I labeled the brain diagram to show my teachers, but it's not like they have the healing power maybe God would, or the medication. And sometimes my dreams do feel a bit vivid, and I feel the pinching right here too. It feels like something's going up here, and it doesn't shut up. It doesn't like it felt like someone sticked up their finger on my brain here. Feels like a lobotomy. Without like I'm not even exaggerating. It really does feel like something's being like a bug inside my brain. It might as well be a brain eating amoeba at this point. It's whatever. Ah, so honestly, been hard to relax, been hard to focus. I have ADHD. I had OCD before this. So it seems like people say that this is like stage one of CT. And there's been actually cases where 18-year-olds have CT, or the youngest case was actually 17, and I just turned 17 2 months ago. And I'm not saying this is me. So this is where our hopes will lie. Number one, attitude. Attitude. I'm not gonna die from this. I can like I definitely have brain trauma and it's definitely gonna haunt me. Three concussions? Hell yeah. And will I most likely get Alzheimer's? Probably. But you know what? Who said I can't control like that regard like of what I eat? Who said I can't control the fact that that I want to take these treatments? I'm gonna try my treatment options. I will try everything that I can. Someone like Chris Boyce, who has this, He's a guy that played hockey for 28 years, and he just simply recommends try everything you can. It saddens me that he has to go through so much suffering, and I hope he doesn't end out bad, because I've seen many athletes end out bad. And I'm seeing all these stories of people that donate their brains because they die from this. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but that doesn't have to be you or me. Why? And I know they need these brains, but why? I'm just been praying to God that we fix the attitude. We will live through this. I literally want to live. This is one thing this made me grateful for is you don't know what a healthy brain is like until you lose it. So enjoy it. I'm telling you people. For me, it's I would do anything. I pray for miracles each day to have my June self back of 2022 before I took that hits, those horrible hits in July 22. I would do anything. I promise to God I would do anything. And it was the subconcussive hits that play a role. The hits that didn't cause the concussions. So honestly, you gotta stay strong. Try everything you can. That is where my hopes are. But what can you try? That's what I'm gonna tell you. CBD oil can help. It helps us to sleep. If you can sleep through this, maybe your life won't be a hell 100%, as long as you get a break from it. And I will thank the Lord Jesus Christ Himself that I had yesterday was bad sleep, but the day before that, 9 hours of sleep, I had the best sleep last Thursday. Like, if you just count those small W's, like, you gotta look at, like, you know what? I'm 17. I have something to live for. I will not die by this. Like, this is a W. And I haven't yet tried psilocybin, and I can't wait to see its magical effects to at least help the suicidal thinking, to help with depression, and honestly, see what other edibles they have for the brain to to just at least numb it, to take a break from the world and just gain perspective on this. Journaling and writing about this helps. But there is days when the storms where my headaches get bad. It just stings. And God, I want like, oh, I just want to hit my head on the wall. I told my friends that, like, I feel disassociated sometimes, though I am social. So I had to put on a mask. And sometimes the pain gets numb when I play soccer. That's why I play it so much. And you listen, you don't have to quit the sport for soccer because the objective isn't to hit the ball with your head or the other guy like in football. Have a little fun with it. Do your cardio and drink your water. But I haven't been the best when it comes to dieting because I don't have that much money. We gotta find something that can reduce inflammation in the brain because that is what CTE is. So that's where my hopes lies. Diet too. We gotta try something like craniosacral therapy. Like I need a massage on the brain, especially the parts where my neurons got hurt. And the thing about psilocybin is that it can actually create new neural connections in the brain. And Daniel's Garcia video actually motivated me the most because he might probably have it, no doubt about it. He said it himself. He's an NLJ player, two-time Stanley Cup champion, and listen, he said you can't revive the noob. The old brain cells are already dead. That's what happens when you when your head is shaking. Brain cells die, but you can create new neural connections through new habits. But that is hard when you have these stinging headaches, especially in your frontal lobe, especially at my age. But I'm gonna have to do it. I just pray like I've done it for months, maybe a year, and I need more strength. And that's up to God, or at least someone. So this I showed you where my faith plays in this. I feel like God did move because I seen him do miracles on people. in my church who someone had a very bad knee pain. It never went away, even with the doctors. Till one night, after all that tireless prayer, God touched like a bright light right on the knee. And she said she wanted to kill herself too, by the way. I'm really like, damn. You know, for years too, by the way, after all that tireless praying, prayer groups. And honestly, somehow became better. I don't know how. Listen, I will do what I call taking the leap of faith, according to Søren Kierkegaard. This is what I call taking a leap of faith. We can talk philosophy in another video, but this is where my faith plays in this role. Like, at least God will, He wouldn't make me go through this so badly where I alone. And at the end, He's in control. And I just need the strength and the hope. And this is not only for me and him, this is for my family, my friends, everything I want to do. I want to travel the world. I love to play soccer. I want to go back to my country. I want to do so many, I want to write books. I really want to write books and I want to help people like me. I want to help people like me. So yeah, um, so that's where my hope is. And I have a poem that I was struggling to write yesterday because of it was just, ah, my thoughts on CT, and I might not be the best poet. Josh was sinking. I feel like I am sinking, and I feel like I am drowning, Lord. Okay, so Lord, I feel like I'm drowning. With my headaches, I'm frowning. God save me. This moment is our crowning. A miracle awaits in despair. As you feel far, brain, please repair. Those souls heard stares and glares. I'm talking about those people that experience the same thing as well. It's not just me. Lord, do not forget who I am. Lord, I will give you my life. In your name, I will marry a good wife. All those beautiful moments, praying for a brain healing atonement. This disaster of my concussion, the mistake in my new caution. To stop my brain from hurting. Lord, every day yet I am still here. Lord, went to hell and back, no fear. I pray that you put magic in medicine. The miracle worker, savior of the world, I want to give you everything. Please heal me. I'm in pain. I don't want to see my Atlantis fail. I don't want to die. Lord, we will win. I will give you all the glory. To make the most of my story, and like many others, let me be the gateway of hope. I mean, I want other people to at least say that something's working. I heard psilocybin. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, but Lord, hold on. Lord, let me hold on to you in this storm. For this family, friends, and life, help me not be torn. Wrestling almost killed me. Where is my breath? It was actually my clumsiness and my 15-year-old self. Well, anyways, where is my breath? To my old ghost, my old healthy self, the same spirit that who resurrected Christ. Come to me in Jesus' name. I don't need to be a martyr for you. I want to live for you and leave my selfishness behind. This is our great fight. Pray for better nights, for the world be our only light. For those suffering, like me or worse, praying you keep us away from a hearse. It is the strength of your words, the ideas, guard me like a dove bird. Let me be your child and use this opportunity and lift me off the water, pick me up, and my focus be on you. Let my focus be on you. Please hear my prayers and do not forsake me. And the strength comes from the old new wounds. These scars reflect my strength that you've given me. Thank you, God, for the miracle through diet, medicine, but you're the one in control. Holy Spirit, touch my head. mine, and heal me. Amen. And heal others, of course, but this is targeted for me. Surely, my short writing on CT and athletes and my worries. So honestly, I just wrote this because I really did feel like I'm in despair. So, and I just realized like during conversations, I would just give a glare. I just zone out. Like this wrestling thing, I would get PTSD from it. I cried when I first went back to the wrestling room after a year. I cried. Because I tried to wrestle back again, but I got hit in the back of the head 4 months later. And after my injury, when they said I was cleared, and it was clear I was never the same wrestler. Just never the same wrestler. And I have to give up the sport. But I feel like my health was better. So I had to do something hard. And at least I'm proud that I was a wrestler and I had potential. And at least I know that I was good at something. Okay, for future treatment and advice for other people. Okay, as again, psilocybin. This is very new, but it can create new neural pathways, I said. But also, it gives you a new perspective on your injury. And it just gives you an ego death in the sense where you're like, you no longer have control of this. Just give it up. And I don't see it wrong if, as a Christian, specifically Orthodox, if you're trying to use it for medicine, you can microdose on it and you'll feel a bit more energy. Lion's mane can help as well. The mushrooms I'm talking about is penis envy and um, golden teacher. Those are the types, the ones that make you trip. But the ones that don't are also good. You can actually eat lion's mane, and it can from Daniel Garcia's perspective is you you take the line you take the mushrooms that make you trip on low doses if you want, or you maybe can trip once in a while. Try not to allow stack. Pulse damage stack is a good indicator on how much on how you should be taking mushrooms. Okay, there's that, and you combine it with CBD oil. That's what I see most people doing, and honestly, I hope it works for me. I haven't tried the psilocybin, and I'm very psyched. Maybe it can help with the suicidal thinking, and I've seen that it helps some veterans or former athletes, especially hoping that it helps someone like me. That being said, that's the best thing I can say we have right now, because we've been struggling to find the best way to detect CT in the living. So this is just based off of symptoms. So like people base off CT off of their symptoms, and here's what I wrote a year ago: constant headaches, lack of attention, and I said I had ADHD, so I'm just rephrasing what I said. And honestly, it's a explosiveness. There's explosiveness. I definitely see that a little bit in me, but I just pray it doesn't get worse. And honestly, this is like the more manageable state of CT. This is where you can actually hopefully treat it. We gotta look at stages of CT. Hmm. Let's see. In terms of symptoms, yeah. I feel like I'm on that. Listen, I want to prepare for the worst, and I do have high blood pressure, so we gotta allow more blood to flow to the brain through dieting. So, or it could just be that I'm constantly stressed because I took cuts above here too. Did I mention that? Yes, but it didn't cause me a concussion. You see, it's those types of things that didn't cause a concussion. Like, oh yeah, they were pretty bad. Stage 2 is depression, explosivity, and short-term memory loss. And stage 3 is executive dysfunction and cognitive impairment and dementia, word finding difficulty and aggression. So I'm in these groups where I see many people that would complain. And what psilocybin maybe won't help with the cognitive, but it can help with the attitude and at least put you in a better spot where it's more manageable. And yeah, you're trying to create new neural pathways to the parts of you that's damaged. And then over time, it's not gonna be your cure, but it's gonna be a great treatment, is what I'm gonna say. This is where, and I can't wait to see more studies proving. And if proven otherwise, I think that's when I would stop taking it. Simple as that. Until we've, CB oil can also help with the sleep and prevent further deterioration. I mean, I take like 15 milligrams, 20 milligrams at times. And honestly, future treatment is when we actually find a way to diagnose it first. Like, and we're getting closer each year. Give it 1 to 3 years. Let me see what the BU Center has to say. I feel like, because for veterans it's different, because you have to be able to like distinguish the mental side of the trauma or the physical side, and if you can't distinguish both, like separate them, then it's hard to detect. And you give this guy medication that only attacks the symptoms. This is for athletes too, like me, and the guy doesn't recover. It doesn't work. So let's see what the CTE Center has to say. And honestly, the best way is to prevent this. And I wish, if I can write 2 words to myself in the past, is to slow down. Because honestly, you are gonna be a varsity wrestler. You just had to slow things down and slow your horses with that. Like, just calm your tantrum, boy. little necio. So, advice for other people that are going through similar things. We got this. We gotta try everything. And honestly, I don't think we should demonize certain sports. But it's hard. Like soccer, like what do you do with that? Everyone loves it. Even the poor to the rich. Come on. But you limit the amount of hard hits to the head as possible, because soccer can actually be avoided with the head hits, unlike maybe boxing, where the goal is to hit the head. So if I was a fighter, I mean, it's just to limit the hard sparring too. But eventually, all these little hits to the head will still catch up to you. So what I would keep doing is researching. And from what I've seen, psilocybin, dieting, omega-3s, I tried them for a few months. Maybe I should still taking them. And maybe if we just allow more blood flow to the brain, that can also help. See, there's many things that can play a factor. Reducing inflammation, that's the best treatment. And maybe prayer, a lot. I didn't ask God to guide you on this journey. And do not take further hits. Okay, Joshua, I got that noted. That's something I can't control. And it's harder for me because I'm a 17-year-old and I have yet to live. And I want to live this world. but I had things taken away from me and it feels traumatic. So honestly, advice for athletes. Oh, oh, I gave the advice already, but slow down if you can. I didn't say give up, I said slow down. And maybe if you have to, please listen to your body and switch sports. If you're about to go to football, well, yeah, do not. But I can't, or maybe decide to do it when you're older, at least older than 14. And for future me, do not give up. We're gonna find it. I promise you, Josh. We're gonna find something. Or I pray that these doctors find something. But at the end, we have to take matters in our own hands. Maybe cranial sacral therapy, maybe acupunctures, something that can help us. But we have to first experiment. Because this is a case by case study for everyone. And honestly, for those people who are suffering, this is a case by case. We have to do this. Do not give up. And just realize, imagine how happy you will feel when you feel a little bit more relief. And I would actually promote THC for this. So, if you guys want to know, um, this is what I think about the brain damage. And honestly, it's that bad roughing against, uh, Bobby Green. Yeah, if you're in MMA trying to avoid, we gotta get better referees. Come on, man. And if you're the guy that's gonna give the punishment, I mean, yeah, you gotta blow until you gotta keep fighting until the whistle's blown. But damn, it's a ruthless sports out there. But I love to watch them too, so I can't complain. I would be very much of a hypocrite. So here's my thoughts on this. Praying that we get stronger somehow. Yeah, I hope you guys understood my story, and here I am. Hopefully, I sleep well. God bless you.